In today's video, I'm sharing my current evening skincare routine with you. I just recently shared my current morning skincare routine. I will link that video down below in case you missed it. Now, normally I like to film these videos live, meaning I like to talk you through it as I'm doing my routine. However, with the time change, it is getting dark so early now, and I just sit in front of a window. I use natural daylight. So I would have to do my evening skincare routine very early in the day for you to be able to see me. And I tried to film it in my bathroom, but the sound and lighting in there is horrendous. So I hope, even though I'm not talking you through it live, you will still enjoy this video. Now, for reference, I am 55 and my skin is fairly normal, but it can be quite reactive. And of course, at 55, I am battling all the natural signs of aging. Loss of elasticity, fine lines and wrinkles, I have some broken capillaries, and so on. Now, the first thing I do at night is I do a double cleanse because I wear quite a bit of sunscreen throughout the day. And for my first cleanse, I have been using the Madagascar Centella Light Cleansing Oil. This is a beautiful cleansing oil. It contains Centella asiatica, so it's quite soothing, and it contains jojoba seed extract, olive seed extract, and some other beautiful oils. I'm on my second container, and I just repurchased 2 more of these because, again, this is a beautiful cleansing oil. It does a great job loosening up my sunscreen and dirt and grime from the day, and it is also quite affordable. And lastly, I also like that it comes in a pump. And then for my second cleanse, I have been using the MD Array BioCleanse 5.5. I talked about this in my morning skincare routine. This is a beautiful gel cleanser. It contains fruit enzyme extracts, so it is very, very lightly exfoliating, but I can use this morning and night without any irritation. I also take this onto my eyes, even though I don't wear eye makeup, but I like to wash my lashes, and this doesn't irritate my eyes at the slightest. Now, my friend Tamara from Tamara's Timeless Beauty turned me on to these makeup erasers. I used to just use a baby washcloth, but I love how big this makeup eraser is because I can wrap it all around my neck and face, and it just makes it so much easier to take off all the foam and cleanser. After my double cleanse, I like to exfoliate. And in my last evening skincare routine I shared with you, I was using the Skin Better Science Alpha Exfoliating Pads, I think they're called. I will put a little picture of them right here. They were beautiful. They contained alpha-hydroxy acid, so glycolic acid, as well as lactic acid, and also a bit of retinol. But I was missing a bit of Europe, or better yet, Paris in my life. So I went back to my Biologique Recherche Lotion P50W. I fell in love with the Biologique Recherche P50 lotion when we lived in Paris. And back then I made a whole video on the P50 lotion in which I talk about the different P50 lotions that exist because there are quite a few different ones. Personally, I like the P50W because it is more suited towards sensitive and reactive skin. So this is called a lotion, but it is really a toner. It is very watery. It contains lactic acid, gluconolactone, a tiny bit of salicylic acid, some other ingredients, and the P50W also contains arnica, which makes it more soothing. Now, technically, I could just pour a bit of this into my hands and then apply it to my face. But what I like to do is use one of these gauze pads. And I like these because they don't soak up a lot of the product. So I just apply about 4 drops. And then Biologique Recherche says to just gently press the product into the skin. So I apply this all over my face, even over my lips, because it nicely exfoliates my lips, though it doesn't taste too pleasant. It tastes a bit vinegary. The only place I don't apply it is onto my neck, because even though this is the P50W and it is suited towards sensitive skin, my neck is still too sensitive even for that, unfortunately. And I use this most nights. I would say 6 to 7 nights a week. There might be a night here or there where I feel my skin needs a bit of a break and then I don't use it, but for the most part I can use this nightly without any irritation. And then normally I like to let this sit for a little bit and let it do its magic. So this is where I often brush and floss my teeth, and then I continue with my skincare routine. So my next step after this has done its magic is usually a growth factor or peptide serum. And currently I am still using the Young Goose Youth Reset Serum. I have talked about this serum before. I have been using it for quite a while now. I think I'm on my 3rd or 4th container. This contains copper peptides, NAD precursors, and if you've been here for a little while, you have heard me talk about NAD precursors at length. I take an NAD precursor internally in the form of NMN, nicotinamide mononucleotide. This also contains spermidine, which I also take internally, ectoin, and a bunch of other beautiful ingredients. Now, many of you have asked me, have I seen any difference from using this? And to be honest, it is so difficult to say. There are 3 products or 3 ingredients. I can tell you for sure that they have made a difference as far as the health and appearance of my skin. Those are sunscreen, tretinoin, and alpha-hydroxy acids, something like this. Everything else, peptides, growth factors, DNA repair enzymes. Personally, I like to include those sort of ingredients into my routine because we do have some promising studies behind them, but whether they actually make a visible difference or whether a particular serum, such as this one, has made a visible difference in my skin is so hard to tell. I know that's not the answer you want to hear, but it's really, really hard to tell, especially when using other products. However, I have really been enjoying using this product. Like I said, I'm on my 3rd or 4th container. I will definitely repurchase it, though I'm going to use this up right now. And I was intrigued by another peptide product that also contains a DNA repair enzyme, and it is the Rescue MD Skin. I just purchased this the other day. I purchased a small container just to try it. I haven't tried it. I want to use this up first. Once I've used this up, I will use this as my peptide step at night, and I will keep you posted. So I do like to have a growth factor and or peptide step at night after my exfoliation. It might change, the serum might change, but like I said, I do like to have those ingredients in my skincare routine. But again, whether I can see a visible difference or not from them is really hard to say, unfortunately. However, after my growth factor or peptide step comes an ingredient from which I have seen a huge difference from, and that is retinoic acid. And for a couple of years now, I have been using the Altreno 0.05% tretinoin or retinoic acid. This contains, as I mentioned, 0.05% retinoic acid. It also contains glycerin and hyaluronic acid. And the addition of the glycerin and hyaluronic acid make for a beautiful formulation. This feels like a serum. It is super hydrating. A little bit goes a long way. It spreads really nicely, and it is not the slightest bit irritating. I use this on my face and chest nightly. Unfortunately, my neck, which could really use a bit of love, is so sensitive and reactive that I can only use retinoic acid on my neck about once or twice a week. But again, on my face and chest, I use this nightly. And I have been using retinoic acid for about 5 years now. I started with 0.05% because that's all that was available when I lived in Italy. And this again is 0.05%. I have been using the Altreno tretinoin for about 2 years. This is by prescription only. My doctor writes me a prescription for this, and then my pharmacy sends it to me. There are some places here online where you can get an online consultation and then they send this to you, but I found it cheaper to just go through my doctor. I was just sent this. This is 20 grams, and I believe I paid $69. That sounds like a lot, but this lasts me forever. I use a pea-sized amount once a day. But talking about online prescription services, MyAlloy, which is an online prescription service whose estrogen cream I use, and I will show that to you in a second, they just came out with tretinoin as well. And they just sent me their formulation. Now, what's nice about MyAlloy or similar services is that they can tailor the percentage of retinoic acid towards one's needs, versus this is always 0.05% retinoic acid. So MyAlloy put this together for me, and it contains 0.067% retinoic acid. Now, from 0.05 to 0.067% doesn't sound like that big of a jump, but it actually is. It's more than a 30% jump. And when I first got this, I tried to use it nightly, and my skin did not like that. It was way too strong. So currently I use this once a week. But to be honest, I am not crazy about the formulation. So on top of the retinoic acid, this also contains aloe vera. In fact, my formulation contains 0.8% aloe vera, and it contains 4% niacinamide. So those ingredients are nice. But it also contains a bunch of dimethicone or silicones. And honestly, I'm not wild about the feel of this. It feels like Vaseline to me. It's very slippery and sticky feeling. Unlike this, which feels like a beautiful serum, this does not. Again, it feels like Vaseline. And it's just sticky. It takes forever to sink in. Now, normally, I don't mind that because just like I like my alpha-hydroxy acids to do their magic, I like to let the tretinoin do its magic as well. So often I will apply this, then go downstairs, watch a TV show, let this sink in before I apply the rest of my skincare. So if I have the time to do that, then using this formulation is fine. Eventually it will sink in. But if I'm in a rush, this, even now, it's still all slippery and slidey, it doesn't sink in, and I'm not wild about the formulation. So this being quite strong for my skin at 0.067% and me not liking the formulation, I will use this up, but I don't think I will repurchase it. I think I will just stick to the Altrino. I was hoping to up my percentage of retinoic acid a bit. I'm not sure why, because most of the studies I looked at as far as the efficacy of retinoic acid were done using 0.05% retinoic acid. So I don't think it's necessary to up my percentage of retinoic acid. I just wanted to try it. But like I said, I'm not wild about this formulation, and I might actually end up using this up on my body rather than my face and just stick to this on my face. Next, like I said, I do like to let this sink in for a little bit if I have the time. I will apply this, go downstairs, watch a TV show or something, then I come back and apply the rest of my skincare. And my next step is, and has been for quite a while, and it is right here, I couldn't find it, is the MyAlloy 0.3% estriol cream. I actually made a whole video on estrogen for cosmetic purposes. If you have not seen that video, I will link it down below. But for that video, I was looking at different studies in which either 0.01% estradiol or 0.3% estriol were used topically for, I believe, 6 months. And with both, there was an increase in dermal thickness, a reduction in fine lines and wrinkles, and an increase in skin hydration. So those studies made me want to use a topical estrogen for cosmetic purposes, and I have been using this ever since. This does contain 0.3% estriol, and again, in the studies, either 0.3% estriol or 0.01% estradiol were used. Now, I know, again, you're probably going to ask me, do I see a difference with this? And again, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it is so hard to say. These studies made sense to me. We have estrogen receptors all over, including our skin. So feeding them externally makes sense to me. But it is so hard to say, especially with the other things I use, if this actually has made a difference. I can tell you that at age 55, my skin is healthier than it has ever been. But I do know that skincare is just a fraction of what makes skin healthy. I think that lifestyle, nutrition, those sort of things are much more important. So it is hard to say if this has made a difference. But again, the studies made sense to me, and I am going to continue to use this unless I come across a study saying this is a waste of time and money. If you use topical estrogen on your face, neck, or chest, and you have seen a difference, I would love to hear it in the comments. Now again, the studies were done not on this particular cream, but on just a 0.01% estradiol or 0.3% estriol. And lots of vaginal estrogen creams contain that percentage of estrogen. And many of you have told me you use vaginal estrogen on your face. I would say if your skin can handle it, there's nothing different about this aside from some other ingredients such as shea butter and things that make it more cosmetically elegant. I did personally try vaginal estrogen, and I also tried some other estrogen creams. I think I tried 4 different formulations. My skin did not like them. They burned, they stung. One of them gave me a bad rash. This is really the only one so far that I have tried that my skin actually liked. So that's why I'm sticking with this one. And then lastly, now this is a moisturizer. This does contain shea butter. So technically I wouldn't need another moisturizer. But I like to go to bed, as my husband likes to call it, greased up. So I like to apply something almost occlusive on top of my skincare to just lock everything in and keep my skin nice and hydrated. And for quite a while now, I have been using the IS Clinical Shield, I believe it's called, Recovery Balm. So this is somewhat occlusive. This does have some dimethicone, some silicones in it, but unlike in this formulation, I don't mind it in here because this is the last step I apply. I want it to be somewhat occlusive. This is just a beautiful balm. It contains some oat kernel extract, which makes it nice and soothing. It is called a balm, but it is, I would say, just sort of a heavy moisturizer. But it does do a beautiful job, again, locking all my other ingredients in. And in the morning, I wake up with my skin happy and healthy looking. So these are all the products I apply to my face. Since I can't apply many actives to my neck, have invested in a neck cream and have been using a neck cream for a little while. But to be honest, I feel about neck creams like I feel about eye creams. I'm not sure if they are necessary, but like I said, because I can't apply much to my neck, not many actives to my neck, I did invest in a neck cream, hoping it will make a bit of a difference. So for the last probably 5 months now, I have been using morning and night the MD Array Neck Tight. This is a beautiful neck cream. It's very light. It contains a peptide complex and a DNA repair enzyme. And a little goes a long way. I just use 1 pump. I apply it all over my neck and chest. And honestly, while I do feel that my neck still needs a lot more love, I do feel there might just be the slightest bit of improvement from using this for the last 5 months, but it could be wishful thinking. And then very lastly, I will apply 2 more products. I will apply the MD Array Lip Balm. This is the peptide lip mask, and I just lost the top. It fell downstairs. But this is a beautiful lip mask I have been using for probably as long as the Neck Tight, so for about 5 or 6 months. You can see I'm almost out of this one. I have another one waiting for me in the bathroom. It's gorgeous. The only thing I don't like about this is the container, especially once it is getting down to the bottom. I don't like sticking my finger in there. It's just kind of gross. But aside from that, this is a beautiful lip balm or lip mask, and I do apply this nightly. And then I also apply my Revive Lash and Brow Serum to my lash line and my brows. And I actually made a whole video about this as well. I have been using this probably now for about 1.5 years. I was using a different lash serum. Now, first of all, I am quite lucky. I was born with long and dark lashes, but of course we always want more. What I really wanted is for my lashes to curl up a bit, because my lashes, while they are long, they are just straight and hanging there. So for that reason, I started using a lash serum about 2 years ago. That serum, however, contained prostaglandins. It worked beautifully. It actually did curl my lashes up a bit, made them longer, but after about 2 months, well, actually, from the start, I noticed that every time I applied it, it stung and burned. But I continued to use it, I don't know why. But after about 2 months, I noticed that I was getting some discoloration around the eyes. That's when I did some more research on prostaglandins and learned that they can have all kinds of side effects, including fat loss under the eyes. So I threw that thing away and researched some natural lash serums that actually work and came across this. This works beautifully. It definitely has made my lashes longer. It hasn't curled them up, it hasn't made them darker, but it has made them longer. However, like I said, I made a whole video on this, and interestingly, under that video, quite a few of you told me you use this and you love it and you've seen great results, but some of you said that it doesn't do anything. Some of you even said it irritates your eyes. So it just shows you we are all different. My friend Tamara from Tamara's Timeless Beauty actually did a little trial in which she used this on one eye and her regular lash serum, which I believe is Grand Lash, which contains prostaglandins, on her other eye. And I think after about 3 months, she said that the results were quite similar. But then after about 6 months, she said that the Revive Lash didn't give her the same results as the Grand Lash. However, she said that this worked amazingly on her eyebrows, which for me, it does nothing for my eyebrows, but it does wonders for my lashes. So again, it shows you we are all different. But this is what I have been using on my lashes for about 1.5 years now, and it has been working beautifully, but unfortunately, it doesn't curl them up or make them darker. It just makes them longer. So this is my current evening skincare routine, and you can see, even though it is still early, the light is already going away, which is why I couldn't film this live for you, but I hope you still enjoyed it. Any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Always love to hear from you. And if you would like to share your current evening skincare routine down below, I would love to hear it. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, bye.